What is up, YouTube family? Happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday. I'm not going to lie, I'm 27 years old, and this may have been the best Easter Sunday. Started it with my son Truman waking me up, saying, "Daddy, did the Easter Bunny come?" Absolutely he did. We have a bike now. It's got training wheels on it, step one. Recently started going to a new church. My family's been going to College Wesleyan Church in Marion, which is about 2 blocks away from the school that I teach. It has been incredible. I think this was our 6th Sunday there, and easily the best Easter service I've ever been to. Pastor Steve Deneff, home run, well done, sir. Special to me. I actually got to see 2 of my students get baptized, so Mary and Aubrey. That was just an incredible thing for me to be able to see you guys make that decision. The Easter story every year, obviously, means a lot to Christians, and it means a lot to me. It's kind of a big, pivotal moment in my life. It happened 2,000 years ago. This year, what's really stuck with me, the verse in Matthew 28:6. Mary is freaking out. She gets to the tomb. Jesus isn't there. She's freaking out. She wants to know, where is he? They took him. Like all these terrible scenarios going on in her head. And angel shows up. It's basically like, calm down. And he said, he is not here. He is risen, just as he said. You see all the posts from churches and in different places. You see all the one-line verses about Easter. They're all awesome. My wife, she runs the Jefferson House of Flowers in Kokomo, and she posted a verse this morning, that verse, Matthew 28:6. For some reason, what keeps sticking in my mind is just as he said. And, it gets me thinking, Jesus called his shots a lot more than just in this story, and I love the idea of calling your shot. I'm about as confident of a person as you'll ever meet. I've called my shot a million times. It happens in the athletic world all the time, where somebody says, "Hey, this is going to happen," and then it's a bold statement, and it's kind of a risky statement. Like, think of Tim Tebow when he was in college. They lost. And he said, we're gonna win the national championship. We will. We're gonna go and win the national championship, and they did. And when that happened, probably like a million times, every media source in the world was playing that clip of him crying in that press conferences, making the promise that he was gonna win, and he sure did. And I think on the other spectrum, I think of Matt Hasselbeck in that playoff game way back when it goes into overtime, and he walks into the coin toss, and they win the coin toss, and he says, "We want the ball because we're going to score." Basically telling Brett Favre, like, "You're done, sir." And first play of overtime, Hasselbeck throws it, interception, ran back for a touchdown. Packers win. Hasselbeck took a tough, humbling loss. And when I think of calling your shot, I think of that risk of being embarrassed. When you do something awesome, if you didn't say it was going to happen, everybody's like surprised, like, yay. But when you say, "I'm going to do something awesome," and then you go and do it, legendary. So, there's value to it. It's a big, bold move. It's a big risk. But Jesus did. Jesus said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to die. I'm going to come back 3 days later." Pretty bold. Pretty risky. At the time, nobody's done it. Actually, nobody's done it since. It was for him, even the people that were closest to him, that were on his team, for him to say that were kind of like, all right, like, I believe you, and sure enough, he dies. People close to him freaking out. They're sad. They go, he's not there. And the angel just reminds him, "Hey, listen, this is what he said he was going to do." And he did it. And I think of all the things that Jesus says, and all the shots that he calls. He told somebody that couldn't see to open his eyes. He told somebody that couldn't walk to take his mat and go home. He told Lazarus, told a little girl, they were dead, and he just raised them up. He said, "I'm going to heal them." And he did. Jesus called his shots a lot. And if we start thinking about how much we believe in what he says, if we believe that he rose from the grave, that he said he would, and that he did, what about everything else that he said? If you believe he beat death just as he said, do you believe everything else he said? He said some risky stuff knowing it would be life-changing when people believed it and it came true. Do you believe you're forgiven just as he said? Do you believe you'll have eternal life in heaven just as he said? Do you believe you can seek what you're looking for and find it just as he said? Do you believe that you can ask for something in prayer and receive it just as he said? Do you believe that you can overcome the enemy just as he said? Do you believe that you can be given all that you need, just as he said? I want you to think about one thing in your life. Think about one thing in your life that's just not working out, that's just causing problems for you. And I want you to think about what would happen if you would apply what he said. Think about what it's going to look like when it works out just as he said.